Well. Today we start what? We start the champion. You can't miss the show. Let's get it started right now. Muy buena, mi gente. Aquí nos encontramos nuevamente en otro programa de Fútbol con Mamá.
Dentro del área. Olmea Petit, Zidane y gol. Ha marcado Zidane el 1-0 para Francia.
Welcome everybody, and here we go, another show of Fútbol con Bamban. And first of all, thank you guys for being again with us. And this is actually an exciting day because we're coming back to La Liga de Campeones, the Champions League, the UEFA major tournament. And this is going to be starting off with Real Madrid versus Red Bull Leipzig and Manchester City versus Football Club Copenhagen. So this is going to be an exciting day. But before we talk a little bit about what's expected for the Champions League, let's do a small recap about what happened this weekend, because this weekend we did have two leagues, which is the Bundesliga and La Liga, having the number one or the top two teams on the brackets, on the tables, fighting against each other, fighting to recover or to maintain the first position in the tournament. And therefore, we're talking about the Bundesliga first. We're talking about Bayern de Munich, which is currently in second place against against Bayer Leverkusen. And with Bayer Leverkusen, we're talking about how phenomenal has been this team this year. They have not lost at all one match. They have several ties, one of them being with Bayern Munich. But they came up to this game with high expectation. They've been having Frimpong playing amazing in that squad. Xabi Alonso is putting that squad to be able to complex between each other. And what a story this has actually been. Xabi Alonso takes this club, being almost at the relegation in previous years, comes inside, rises them up, puts them right now fighting, and they're starting to believe that they could be the champions of La Bundesliga. They just actually played against the dominance of Bayern de Munich, which we know the Bayern de Munich for the past decade has been the team to always overcome with this tournament, with the trophy. And finally, they're looking at this is going to be their downfall or the year that they'll be dethroned. And this is happening, unfortunately, on the famous curse of Harry Kane. We know that Harry Kane has always been known as a player that is a superb player, scores a lot of goals, puts everything in top, does everything, but he's not been able to be fortunate to lift up a lot of trophies in leagues. We saw him in Tottenham with these issues, and now we're seeing him in Bayern de Munich, which we think, or we thought initially, that by him, at this point, being the current leader, goal scorer, being the guy who's doing his job, who's putting up his numbers, has not been able to be a dominance in the league because of Bayer Leverkusen has been able to overthrow them. And this game, actually this weekend on Saturday, was 3-0, and Bayer Leverkusen actually destroying by at least number-wise to Bayern de Munich. This is actually something that is very exciting. This is history in the making. This is going to give so much value to a coach like Xabi Alonso, which we already starting to hear possibilities with the news that we know that Jurgen Klopp is leaving Liverpool. And the past of Xabi Alonso with Liverpool also as well. This is something that it's been a dream come true for Eriksen, the owner, right? One of the owners of Liverpool in this moment. And he wants Xabi Alonso to come back and to coach Liverpool right after Jurgen Klopp actually leaves. But before that happens, Xabi Alonso still has a task. He's only several weeks away, more than 10 weeks. I think he's got 14 weeks left on the season. And between that, it's going to be to possibly lift up the crown, which is going to get a big significance for this club and this big boost of morale for this major club. We know that after this big achievement, a lot of the players are going to be, picked off through other squad. That happens usually to every club that comes up, especially clubs like this one, that they rise up to the top and everything. They get dismantled afterwards. It's already been spoken the same thing. Let's go into La Liga to Girona. Girona, even though we know that this is a team acquired by Manchester City owners, it's a team also that Michel has been able to show a style of game, and change the model pretty much for the squad. And this is a squad that it was actually the Cinderella story in La Liga, having beating Barcelona, defeating Atletico Madrid, coming inside and maintaining itself only 2 points from Real Madrid. Several weeks, they were the leader of the league. Now they were going to face the Giants. They were going to face the true reality, the only team who had defeated them with 3-0. And this was going to be a challenge for them to come inside and see if they're able to supersede and recover the lead and start dreaming about the possibility of lifting up the trophy of La Liga. Well, unfortunately for them, they face a Real Madrid who's on the state of mind that they just passed January. We already talked about in this show. Historically, January has been the month that Real Madrid gives away a couple points, and they have this year. This is the month usually that Real Madrid starts like falling back in place. And then for some reason, by around this time that the Champions League is coming ramping up again, it's the time that Pintus have all these players running like cannons and getting better. And you saw an exhibition against the Girona. They made Girona look really, really, really small. Let's just say it that way. Even Mitchell comes in the post conference and says, this is a humble experience for us, because even though we, in the back of our heads, we thought, how are we competing with these giants? We're not a club to compete with these giants. We're not designed that way yet, at least, but we are. Could we actually surprise everything and continue to go? Or will be recognizing that we're not competition to be up at this category? And he confessed it. He said, this has been a humble experience for us. After losing 4-0 against Real Madrid, now they lost between the two games 7-0. This is incredible, because Mitchell accepted that day, and all his speech in his post-conference was talking about how formidable is these squads in the top three, and that he's honored that his team has fought hard to remain in the top 4, but he understands and humbles himself and says that he recognizes that his squad is not meant to be in the top 4 for in La Liga. However, he still believes that this squad is going to be enough to be in the European League, which right now they're still in Champions League for next season. So we will see how this is actually going to be an outcome in here. The best thing for Girona was that Barcelona tied his match against the number 2 from the bottom, or the team that is in relegation danger, against Granada. And then Sevilla beat Atletico de Madrid, which actually remains a still hefty advantage, or give a couple games of advantage for Girona over these two clubs, which they're going to be in the hunt for these next couple weeks. However, Real Madrid is running away with the Liga pretty much. Almost 1 or 2 more slips, and you can almost call it a year pretty much for this point. Real Madrid is 5 points right now from the second team, which is Girona, and 10 points from Barcelona and 13 points from Atletico Madrid. So this is making it very, very, very difficult for these clubs to be able to try to aspire to win the title. But if not, they're going to try to make it to see if they can make it to the Super Cup next year, being in the top 2. And all of these squads has been eliminated also from La Liga de Campeones, except Atletico Madrid, who just still has another game. And if they lose the next game, they get eliminated. But they're still alive in La Copa King, which will give them an opportunity, if they make it to the finals, to be able to play in the Super Cup of Spain next year. So anyways, having this said, this is an experience. This has been amazing. Van Couto was the kid who was coming out crying for Girona. He was destroyed. He was destroyed by Vinicius, Rodrigo. Anybody who went through his side just made a field day over him. And this is something that, when you talk about the bad day, this was his bad day. And what a bad day it was. Because he faced the best version of Vinicius. We can almost say that Vinicius is almost the best game that he's had in his life. And we've seen some good games from Vinicius Jr., especially in Champions League. But this is one of the games that he actually excelled. He was doing everything he wanted. He's so calm. He was scoring. He shot from outside the 18. and made a phenomenal goal. He did a 3-finger pass to Jude Bellingham to be able to make and score his goal. So this has been an amazing game for Vinicius Jr., and Van Couto just had to pay the price in this moment. So Real Madrid comes up to this game with some major absence also as well, and we're talking about Jude Bellingham. Jude Bellingham in the Girona game twisted his ankle twice, actually came inside with a high sprained ankle, and it's projected to be 3 weeks outside. However, their optimism is that he might come back in 2 weeks, but he will not be present for this game today against the Germans. And this is important because Ancelotti was mentioning yesterday that the height of Jude Bellingham in the game, especially against a German team that is so tall and plays a lot of the aerial games, it's very important to have a guy that has size. However, now that we have David Alaba, Militao injured, we have Courtois injured, we have Nacho Hernandez injured, we have Rudiger, we still don't know if he will be able to play or not play today. It's just a lack of height. We have Tchouaméni back. Yes, he's tall, but then he's surrounded by who? Ferland Mendy, small. Dani Carvajal, small. Lucas Vázquez, small. Toni Kroos, small. Federico Valverde, small. All these guys are not as tall. They could jump. They could make some plays, but they're not as big heights. Now, Camavinga's a little bit taller. Tchouaméni is going to have to excel in there. And this is one of the questions why it was brought up to the question yesterday to Ancelotti in the conference pre-game, was talking about if Brahim Diaz will be the best option to come inside, knowing that Brahim Diaz is doing a phenomenal season, especially coming out of the bench. And when he's played the complete game also, he's been a difference maker. Ancelotti said it's a possibility. However, his size is not helping him for this game. We know that this is an aerial game, and his size is not very beneficial in this moment. So therefore, he's telling you that he might need the height of Joselu to come inside and Joselu to come back and help whenever there's center backs and everything, to try to help the squad remain a little bit and fight on the height. So this is the fear from Carlo Ancelotti going to the German squad and facing in Germany today. This game is, how is Real Madrid going to respond against the heights, which we know has been their Achilles heel since they've lost their major players or key players as their center backs. What's happening in here also right now, it's that Leipzig is very motivated. They've been playing pretty good. Still the favorite is Real Madrid to be able to surpass this game today. However, we have to watch it. It's going to be an exciting game. And from the two games that there today, I think this one is the one that must watch. Manchester City is playing against Copenhagen, which was not really projected to be in the next round. They surpassed the group leagues, the group stage, and actually joined together here. And everybody was talking about how easy it was for Manchester City to have a Copenhagen as their opponent. However, Pep has always reiterated that you cannot underestimate anybody because they can make it. They're very motivated to be at this stage. They know they're facing the former champions of the Champions League, and this is going to be a very interesting matchup that is going to be being done between Manchester City and Copenhagen. So there's another squad that I will probably see, another game that I will see, but I'll probably will see it on recording afterwards. I will remain vigilant for Real Madrid and Leipzig. Hopefully I'll make a show right after this game. But what I wanted to say to you guys is this is an exciting moment. Champions League is always the right moment and the right time. And as I mentioned, you guys, this is the time that Real Madrid always gets back up ready to be able to compete for this Magna tournament. And we have to enjoy it because we don't know how long this is going to be. We have already last week, Ceferin come in and says he's not going to run again for the next term of presidency for UEFA. He's going to relegate it for somebody else, and there are going to be votes, and he's not going to be in the ballot. So 2027, it's the end of UEFA pretty much with Ceferin era, and whoever comes inside is going to be the new era. Maybe that person who comes inside might consider to join the superpower with the new tournament that is being developed, which is La Superliga. And right now we know that La Superliga has UEFA on court on a sue case pretty much for threatening, trying to downgrade them, downplay the part, hurting them economically. And this way they're in court fighting for that terms, especially because of the monopoly accusation that they have made, and they've won in court pretty much. that UEFA was recognized to be a monopoly pretty much in the sport. Therefore, it gives a freedom of speech for a Super Cup to be able to jump inside and be part of the league. So this is something that might start next season. The Super Cup, I mean, La Superliga. It's going to be on the 2025, projected to be with 16 to 20 teams as a start. But by 2027, when Ceferin is out, we know he's the arch enemy against La Superliga. Maybe La Superliga is going to be stronger, going to be more developed, and UEFA might ride that boat and get together and make it a super league, which is going to be very interesting. It's going to be very nice. And it might not be called the Cup of the UEFA champion no more. So we have to take advantage of these last couple years. We know Real Madrid dominates this tournament. 14 of them under the belt just proves that historically they're the most champions of any squad in the world, pretty much in the European side. And it comes out to be that it's going to be an interesting year. And the way that this Madrid is playing, it's going to be hard to deal with. So anyways, I hope you enjoyed a little bit this short show right now. Hit your subscribe button if you haven't. Hit that like button. And let's keep it rolling because there's more shows with Football con Bamban. Ciao!